When you started with Rummy Culture and it has like 30 million plus users,
Yes.
that's a company with a $1 billion valuation. That roughly translates to 8,700 crores. I don't even know how many zeros would be there. You can fail in your exams in engineering, score 50%, but you can still have a unicorn.
We have a Guinness Book of World Record for the largest rummy tournament
Yes.
in the world with 1,20,000, 30,000 people.
आपके घर पे कभी छापे पड़े?
Breaking news coming in.
There will be some amendment to the GST law to include online gaming. They will be taxed at 28%.
इस बिल में ऑनलाइन मनी गेमिंग पर पूर्ण प्रतिबंध लगाने का प्रस्ताव है.
Online gaming law of 2025, which bans real money games like rummy and poker.
And this time it's game over.
Everything's gone.
Yeah, everything's gone.
Worrying a lot about what people think about you. Oh, you were driving Audi, now you're driving like a cheaper Hyundai.
You can call it game of skill. It's a question to debate. Supreme Court has called rummy game of skill only. But from losing money point of view, there is very less chance of you being defrauded. That was the eventual target. We thought of that if we make it that big.
700 crores per year.
Yes, it's a big achievement for us.
So I think Warren Buffett says that the difference between rich people and really rich people is they have the ability to say no. Welcome, Akhilesh Bhaiya. So I'm actually was thinking today ki should I be calling you Akhilesh or Bhaiya? I think I'll mix up the two. So just for the audience, Bhaiya just means bigger brother because that's how I know Akhilesh through a dear friend of mine and he's his elder brother. Akhilesh is somebody I've always looked up to. In my university, I would hear somebody working in this big tech company, traveling all over the world, having big parties. And I was like struggling to find a job. And I was like, is that even possible in life? And knowing all those stories about him, I actually met him in Bangalore first time. We were like, I think there were 6 other roommates. We were just playing some mobile game. And I realized how down to earth and how focused you are on the things that you do. And I think you are very different to me in the sense that you pick one thing and you do it really well versus I try to do a lot of stuff at once. And so, I'm very fascinated by you. I think I want to talk about, I don't know many people in this room who have started a unicorn. I wanted to ask you, like, how does it feel to be a founding member of a unicorn and the eventual increase and the decrease? Like, how has that overall feeling been for last 7-8 years? Do you have a high level summary?
Yeah, so hi, glad to be here. जैसा तुमने बोला कि I try to focus on few things. Not really. Like other people, I also, get excited about. I think it is in general with curious people that they get excited about many things. For example, like I am excited about sports. Uh, I I sometimes start gymming because I want to track how better I am getting at lifting weights. How today if my deadlift PR is 100, then when it is going to 120, what do I have to do? What things I have to train on to get to 120? These are personal milestones that I put for myself and keeps me motivated and excited. Likewise, nowadays I'm playing badminton, so I have a friend that who plays really good, and my personal goal is to really play like him at least.
At least.
Then I'll call myself an intermediate player, for example. Things like that. So I like things that are kind of you can call them sports. Even in the in the job that I do, I like to keep it like I'm playing a sport.
Right.
Trying to improving in areas like figuring out areas which I can improve upon, and then try to improve on those. For example, let's say if I have a understanding of distributed computing, so how would I score myself on distributed computing? Let's say I give myself a 5, and how do I reach to a 7 or 8? and what are the things that I can do to reach a 7 or a 8. So that's a sport for me now, and I'll try to
Keep leveling
keep
up.
leveling up
Yeah.
in a fixed time frame. And if
Yeah.
I easily get bored if I find something interesting somewhere else. For example, this for me for a very long time, I would say. I remember during my college days, we used to have continuous exams, 5 days and
Yeah.
everyday exam. And uh, mm, and like as in engineering colleges, you don't usually study, at least didn't usually used to study uh, days before exam. I used to study on those 8 hours that you get after sleep for preparing for the next day, and at least get passing marks 50-60%. That's enough for me. So that used to be my motto. But one day, if there were days where I was not really interested in studying on those days also. And let's say I saw a chess video and I'm really interested that some person has played this move and things
Yeah.
like that. So I would continuously play 4 hours chess on the day
Yeah.
before exam, and totally forget about exam. So
So you have that itch of when you see something weird and unique to
yes,
you,
yes,
you want to figure it out. You just can't let it go.
yeah,
कि
yeah,
ऐसा हो गया.
yeah.
You want to know कि ऐसे कैसे.
Yes,
Trying to
like
figure it
the
out.
pressure of exam was
Yeah.
nothing in front of the excitement of that
That
particular
random concept that came to your head.
yeah. So it's been like that
Yeah.
for me. And coming back to your question now, uh, that the journey that like we have seen of so for reference, I have worked in like Gamescraft. We along with uh, seven 6 or 7 more people uh, started Gamescraft. Mostly, it was a friend circle. Three of them were senior to us, and four of us were all of same age. And the 6 7 people, the six of us, we started working on this new game. The game is old but new for us. So we got together and started working on it in 2017 July.
And that was Rummy Culture
Yeah,
you started with?
we started
So
with
was there anything there in that, like when you started with Rummy Culture and it has like 30 million plus users, that's the main cash cow for the
yes,
unicorn.
yes,
For people who don't know what unicorn is, that's a company with a $1 billion valuation, and that roughly translates to 8,000 crores. Is that
yes. Now you can call it 8,700.
8,700 with the exchange rate? So 8,700 crores. I don't even know how many zeros would be there. Um, it's just mind-boggling. I'm wondering, like, when you started
8,700 crores.
in 2017,
Hmm.
what was the scene for online gaming, and where did this Rummy Culture, like, who and how and why did you start this?
So one of the founders and the senior member of our team, he was interested in like he knew that there is a market for rummy in mostly in West India, western part of India and South India. And he that's why he wanted to experiment if like we can get hold of that market. And that market was pretty big at that time also. There were few companies that were doing round about 2 to 3 crores in revenues per day at that
Per
time.
day.
Yes. So that's how we uh, and the product that were there, we thought that we could do better.
Yeah.
And he thought that we could do better with a good team. That's when he approached us. And we were to like we were young and excited about things and doing making building things from
You're still young.
scratch. We weren't,
We're still young.
we relatively young. Yeah, we were 23, 24, and really excited about building things, learning and building things from scratch, uh, solving problems at scale.
Mhm.
That's that that were the things that used to drive us, at least me myself.
Mhm.
um, I'm saying yes us because the other people that were part of our Gamescraft, all of us were friends, and we would talk around about these things only all the time. So I know that all of us were in
So all
only direction
like
us in
सबने
that
job
sense.
छोड़ के they figured out like they want to switch to Gamescraft. Is that
Yes,
roughly the
yes. All of us,
Huh.
were very very high paying jobs, and we
Yeah.
left it. And we when there was one round of funding from our friends,
Yeah.
and from that only.
So this was bootstrap.
Yeah, it's a bootstrap company.
Who had this idea of bootstrapping it?
The main the senior that I'm talking about, he
Prithvi,
started.
right? That's
Prithvi, yes, Prithvi, and
someone else.
yeah,
Okay.
someone else.
Oh, cool.
So we started it using bootstrap money, and we were like the pay that we were getting in previous companies were relatively on higher side of the spectrum of uh, payments that you go get for software developers. So we left that, and we were, after we joined this, and we were getting almost one third or one fourth of our
Yeah.
initial salaries. um, Even that was more than enough for us, because we were
Yes.
like, we
A
like
third of
we had no kind of spending habits
yeah.
in that sense. We were living on
I could tell
say,
when I visited Bangalore. You guys didn't need much.
yes, bread and butter.
So it was the same group that I met.
Yes.
It's the
Like
same group, you
uh,
would say, more or less.
no, one of the member of that particular flat was
Yeah.
involved with us. His name is Punya.
Punya.
So
Uh-huh.
so he has been with me with starting from Gamescraft only. Oh, sorry, coordination only.
Coordination.
Yeah.
So what was the excitement for you? Like, was it so? Like when you're starting a business, there's that excitement on like just creating that business itself,
Yes.
right? But for you, was it around business? Was it around a technical challenge that you adapted it to? Like, what was your personal?
To be honest, I was not, very much into the business itself.
Yeah.
Like the feeling was that it would be great that if we could, match, at least match the, market leader, and that would be a dream come true. Um,
Hmm.
m- that
Market
was
leader as in terms of revenue.
revenue.
Okay.
Yes.
That's 2 CR per day. So let's
Yes.
say 700 crores per year.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was the target, and that was the target that was the eventual target that we thought of, that if we make it that big, that would be end of something.
Yeah.
Like it's a big achievement for us. It was like a far-fetched dream for us
Right.
when we started. So from that perspective, that was the dream. But the drive that was there to join this and do this was to build things from scratch and build it to a very big scale.
Mm.
That was the drive, and solve problems along the way, face challenges, and learn along the way.
So was that also because I understand like from our conversations earlier that you and others were probably very well paid, which kind of translates to you were very skilled as a software developer, right? So was always like starting a startup, like you were always trying to deal with the complexity versus execution. So early on, like did you, because I believe you're a person of like, almost like, is that true that you're a person of excellence? You want to have like scalable systems in the first place rather than, you know, executing something half-assed or like, which is not going to scale, but just keep
Yes.
it iterating.
Yeah. So I think that earlier, like my background when I started coding was into competitive coding. I used to do a lot of competitive coding. There, the philosophy is to just get it done and not care about the quality or the
Yes.
excellence part of it. You just figure something out and do it in a particular time. I
Right.
mean, something like that.
You pass all the tests and that's it.
Yes,
Yeah.
you pass all. The aim is to pass all the tests. The mentality was like that, but the kind of people that I have worked with in my professional life, that has made me go for this excellence part. That you have to think about scale from day one.
Mhm.
You have to make create maintainable.
Yes.
I think along with scale maintenance, the quality of the engineer to make the code as maintainable as possible is really
Yeah.
required. So that has been my focus. I would not say that I follow too many design patterns. I know of too many design patterns, but my philosophy while writing code is to make it keep it as much configurable and as much maintainable as possible, and I'll never compromise with the scalability of
Yeah.
the solution, uh, whether it is day one of the
Yeah.
development or we already have 1 million 2 million customers. That doesn't matter, because
Yeah.
eventually when you have those many customers, the technical debt is so much that you cannot
Yeah.
rebuild the whole system from scratch at that point.
And what was your role like up उसमें company में like starting से was your role always because I believe as आप बता रहे हो कि और भी लोग there were other people who were technical and who were developers pretty
Yes.
much, right? I think it is all six
Huh,
seven of
we
you were tech,
all of
right?
yes, all of us 6 or 7, all of us were from tech background.
Okay. And so I can imagine for you it's like all exciting. Like you're starting, you're seeing also I think you do care about results. It's not just input pay, you're focusing like you do that is like you have that balance
Everybody.
always. That's what is the outcome. I mean, as you said like earlier on as well, like you care about outcomes, right? Like if you want to play badminton, it's not just hitting that one shot perfectly, but you want to see your ranking go higher, right?
Yes.
And let me start. I think actually like you are really one of the hardest working and one of the sharpest people, but also something interesting that I see in you is like you are probably at the right place at the right time kind of a personality. And that's like, I think you made it so because you deserve those opportunities. So in the sense, what I mean is like, yes, you have to be a little bit lucky to get those situations, but if you're not deserving, you won't get those, right? You won't be able to pass that bar. You would get those opportunities. I think everybody does get opportunities. So can you take me back? Like, first of all, like, for our people who are listening, I think most of them are in corporate, they're working 9 to 5, they're making good enough money, they have a stable job, but there's that itch to do something bigger as you had when you switched boats. And I think you build up enough financial bandwidth that you could take a risk for a couple of years, and of course that paid off pretty well, as we know. But you were able to take that risk. So in the interview we'll talk about the deserving part also a lot, because I think that is very important, where people just feel, oh, I could have done this. But that deserving is like the hardest part. Take me back to the early days from your NSIT. I think, was it a very standard Indian engineering, not study, not really pay attention to classes? You just pass the exams because you're going to be put up like to be selected for those companies, and they don't really care what you score. Was that always the mindset? Like, or were you a very studious person? You were focused on things?
No. I was the first person that you talked about. So like when we sat for, so the story goes like this, that my CGPA, not CGPA, the percentage that I had in college was, after 8 semester, it was 55, 56%, something like that.
It's even worse than me. I thought I was terrible. I got like 70%.
So the outcome of that is that you don't get to sit in the placement
Aha.
companies that come
The
over
big techs and
the
stuff.
tech companies that come over there. So I got to sit in those, is like out of at least 50 to 100 companies visit the campus. I got to sit in, I think, 5 of them,
Uh-huh.
and I was able to crack 4 of them. So that was due to the other interest that I had,
The
but
competitive coding.
the competitive
You just
code.
liked it. It was
Yes.
so I think there's a very interesting thing. Sorry to interject. I think Naval says that, right? Like if you play what to others feels like work and to you is
Yes.
play, is just crazy advantage. Like you are in your bed, you're just solving it because you do it for fun.
Yes.
Versus people like me who, if they do lead code, is like stressful. I have to put in. It's like a job for me.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like that only because I used to I love to hang out with friends a lot.
Uh-huh.
That is the other part that I like a lot. Um, so I used to go be in the college till 12:30, 1 a.m. in the night, playing volleyball or something like that.
Yeah.
Doing things, sitting, eating, drinking. Uh, uh, but after that, when I'm home at 1 a.m., I would go to Code Chef and
Yeah.
see if there is a contest going on and be a part of that contest, and solve problems till 6 a.m., 7 a.m. in the morning, and skip all the classes. And and because of that, I would like there I got 2-3 backs because of not being able to join classes, and and when I was in coordination, I used to go back to college and give exams so that I could get the degree. So I got my degree after 7-8 years.
Everybody
in
hear it first. Like you can fail in your exams in engineering, score a 50%, but you can still have a unicorn, in your pocket.
Yes.
That's just a very beautifully put. And I think so. You cracked 4 out of the 5 interviews. That was that. Like that the first feeling that you had that okay, like this is not too hard. Like in the sense of getting a good job, high paying job, or even like was that the first taste of like say success that you could see a career entering, like okay, this feels like play to me? Was
Mm-mm.
that the time when you
Yeah, I think from when we talk about giving interviews and cracking those interviews, I think that was relatively easy for me, because I was doing those things only that they would generally ask.
yeah
I was loving those things only. But in the job itself, because I was too much into I was unidimensional in terms of scope of coding. I was not aware of production systems and how like I didn't even know what is an API.
yeah
Like what is the full form and what does it do? What is a server?
yeah
I never used Ubuntu before,
uh-huh.
joining a company. So that was pretty. Uh, I didn't know what was JavaScript, and
Did it feel exciting
yeah,
or was it overwhelming?
it was overwhelming because in coordination, it was overwhelming for people who had even for those people who had done
Yeah
internships at other places, and you who were really bright, had done lots of projects. For them also it was work of 14-15 hours a day, and
yeah
so for someone like me who is very new to all these jargons,
yeah
it was a nightmare for me, but I somehow got through because I loved
yeah
doing these things. That's why I think.
And then you joined Blinkit for
Yeah, I joined Gophers.
Gophers.
After working for 2 years at coordination, I joined Gophers for 1 year.
yeah. What was Blinkit like? Like it's crazy right now. My our friend couple, his parents live in Coimbatore, and they order milk on Blinkit. I don't even know if Coimbatore has an airport. Like, no offense, but they use Blinkit. I'm wondering, like, again, talking about scaling, like that, you're particularly fond of, like, you don't create systems that are not scalable. I'm wondering, like, was that something also you saw early on in Gopher?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
the technical implementations were always, the
So
bar was
Blinkit
very
was
high.
a big part of my learning journey, because in coordination, the what coordination does is kind of very primary research on futuristic things.
Uh-huh.
Like in 2016, we were solving for code quality.
Uh-huh.
In like if you we were solving for things like if you see a person's code, you can give him some you can judge him whether he is a professional coder
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
intermediate, or he has just started coding in that particular language, he knows design patterns or not. Like we were making things like and we were working on uh, so there is Google Maps for outdoor navigation, but there was nothing for indoor navigation, so we built products for indoor navigation as well in big malls
Mhm.
and airports, things like that. And then there were products like you give me the code, I'll find the bug. So the
Okay.
things that AI is doing now, we were researching on those things at that time.
Now
So
it's like
coordination is that kind of work where you solve very
Yeah.
specific problem. There's no customer, nothing.
Yeah.
You just are solving
Got Yeah.
things from scratch which are not solved yet. So I did not know like in 2 years I did not yet know about the production system, how they work, how do scalable things works. that that is where Growfers was a big learning experience for me, because I got to learn a lot there, because there were already customer, there were things that were failing, we had to rewrite and
Kuch pata tha group.
yeah, there were things that were always
Yeah.
there were big problems with perishable items,
Yeah.
things like milk and fruits, vegetables. So those things
Yeah.
as the name suggested, they are perishable. So
Right.
the inventory, it's very hard to
Control it.
to control or count the inventory of those. So we had to
Right.
build and there is less internet in the warehouses, so to keep those in sync, we have to build systems so that the
Yeah.
inventory with us is and
Is up
what is visible on the app
Right.
is up to date with the what is there in the warehouse. So
Right.
those were the problems that we were
How
solving
long were you in Growfers?
in for 1 year.
So in 1 year, you felt like now that you say like was probably 10 years ago. Now you say that you felt that you learned a lot in that 1 year.
Yes, about production system and scaling things, I would say that was largely due to Growfers. And from coordination, I would say I did learn the quality to hustle and go and grind through any problem that you get.
I wanted to ask you in Growfers and Blinkit, that's where you learn the production and scaling systems.
The
And
hustle part and the
right was
mindset.
from coordination.
Yes.
Were those two ingredients the
Yeah, very
recipe
much.
for a good
Yes,
sort
yes,
of-
very much. So in Gamescraft, when I joined Gamescraft, so we we were building the front end. So uh, because it is a game,
Yeah.
you cannot run it on a pure Android like Java, and I think it was Java at that time. Right now it's Kotlin.
Hmm.
You cannot write in Java and Android libraries directly to give a feel of high quality uh, frame drop free game
Mhm.
in on smaller devices. I am talking about a time when people used to have very small devices, 2 GB RAM, very less internet, and very less memory, batteries. So the size of phones at that time were really, if you compare it with today, you would not imagine that how can that kind of phone work.
Yeah.
For that to work, and when you have a game to run on that, you have to develop with on a game engine.
Right.
So there was a and we wanted, so one of the things that we were trying to do better than our competitors was, because the internet was so internet bandwidth and the number of apps that you can put on the phone was so less,
Yeah.
that we wanted to keep our APK size, the
Right.
build size, as small as possible. For that, we could not have used Unity, because Unity gives you a very big build size. So there was a Chinese game engine that we discovered,
Mm.
and the documentation was all in Chinese. There was no English documentation, and it was like they were no longer developing
The app.
the game engine. There was all old documentation, so we picked up because of its performance. And so there were challenges when you're trying to do your own things. So uh, I took the responsibility of creating the front end and the front end of the game. So I had to go, and this library was open source, and I have to go and contribute to the open source to get things done for my use cases.
Yeah.
For example, there was one use case when the game was not running on iPhone for Vodafone users. So I had to go and change the whole WebSocket library of
Yeah.
that particular game engine.
Yeah.
And we wrote our own WebSocket library, and then we made
Right.
it run. So things like that.
Like again coming back to Rummy Culture, I think what was where did you feel is the moat at that point when you said there's a big company already doing 2CR, of course they want to expand. You felt the moat was in the tech part?
Yes, one of the part is tech for sure.
And tech meaning it running smoothly, or just because like I'm understanding from tech, is it because the other company was not scalable what they were doing and they would hit a limit?
Yeah, actually so the competitor was doing, used to have tournaments on every Saturday,
Uh-huh.
rummy tournaments, and those tournaments were 60,000 people, 65,000 people, 70,000 people at a time, at a single time playing rummy. So, and most of the time, though, that tournament for the competitor used to, crash. That did not used to get completed because of the technical challenges.
And crash means everything's gone.
Yeah, everything's gone. The tournament did not complete.
There's nothing worse than
So uh, that's where our technical expertise,
Right.
uh, got used.
You said you looked at it and you're like, okay, we can solve this. Like
Yeah.
that was the main.
Yeah,
Was that the main?
that's one of the example. There were many things like that.
Right.
And so we have a Guinness Book of World Record for the largest rummy tournament
Yes.
in the world now, with 1,20,000, 30,000 people like that.
So I
That
think
was one of the
I was reading somewhere that your first tournament also crashed.
yes.
And then from going there to getting a Guinness Book
Yes.
World Record, I think there was a lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah, yeah.
But did that still feel like game to you? Like did that whole
Yep.
experience feel like a
Whenever I am in a very conducive environment for me, where by conducive I mean where I am working on the thing I love, and with the people
yeah.
that I trust, and the people that who trust me, and there's not lot of bureaucracy, not lot of showing that I'm going to do this, how does this look, and getting it approved by
Yes. 10
all of
levels.
them.
Yes.
uh, if the environment is like that, I love to work in that environment.
Yeah.
That's what I got, and that's why I think I was able to. So people say that building a company is very very hard task, and you have
Yeah.
to go through a lot to do this. But frankly, I never felt like this even for a single day, that I'm working a lot to make this happen. We used to work 12 14 hours a day every day, uh, Monday to Saturday, uh, even Sundays early on, but it never felt like a work because uh, we were with the people that
Yeah.
we usually hang out with and usually chat with, and
Right. You would have hung out with them anyway, so
yes,
and this just
we were
came a drawing
out
board.
and solving problems.
Do you think you would have done this? And even like going back to your NSID days, like, you're 19 years old, skipping classes, like imagining the scale of things that have happened. I don't think even I realized it until I started preparing for this interview, the scale of things that Gamescraft was at. Do you think that if it was not at this scale, you would have not been so interested and other things might have distracted you?
No, I don't think so. Uh, I don't think so because, uh, again, as I said, that the with scale you get, maybe that might have been true because with scale we, found new problems to solve.
Yeah.
For example, during the COVID times, uh, there were a lot of people who are now uh, new users who are now joining the platform, and suddenly from, let's say, 100 users, we were 250, 300 users per day, that we were the amount of inflow that we were seeing was like that. And the older users that were playing, the play time of them was all had also increased from by at least 50%. So that's where our systems began to break, because we had surpassed the competitor, and we were thinking that these were the number of users that we would get.
This was roughly when? How long in the journey? When you started the company?
uh, After 4 years, during COVID times,
So it took you 4
2020
years for that initial goal of 2 CRish per day.
Yes, we were
We
able
were
to achieve that.
surpassed. Wow.
In 3 or 4 years, we were able
So you
to.
became an industry leader by 4 years
Yes, and by a big margin.
by a big margin.
Yes,
And also like a lot more capacity because you had that built in a way that you
Yes.
could handle much more.
yes.
So then it became like a blue ocean. Like
Yeah. So in 2020, when it was peak of COVID,
yeah.
the systems began to fail, because we had never anticipated so many users at
Yeah.
a single time playing Rummy. So we had to do a lot of things, go through Netflix blogs to see how they solve the kind of problems, go through Google's blogs, and from those libraries, I think we use Netflix circuit breaker libraries, and we use there was some caching mechanism that we read somewhere.
Yeah.
I think Mintra or someone was solving that problem using that caching mechanism. So we implemented that caching mechanisms, and we also rewrote our own libraries
Yeah.
in the backend to handle extreme load, especially in tournaments, doing sharding and things like
Yeah.
that.
So it looks like you were very open to, like you were constantly adapting.
Yes.
It was, as you said, you had that in mind, but of course, what you started 4 years ago when you started, it had to be, there had to be like deep cleaning and deep engineering changes that you
Yes,
had to make
yes.
constantly.
Yes.
And
So-
were you like mainly doing that? Or I know
Yes, yes.
everybody else, but
I was
the main
very much
researcher
part
as
of
well.
Yeah.
You're the main researcher, like trying to figure out how others are
We were
solving it.
2-3, like, there were 2-3 people from tech
Yeah.
point of view that were looking into it, and there was a big team. Of course, after 4 years, we were relatively big.
How big would you say?
I think at that time we had around 40 to 50 engineers at least,
Okay.
around about that time.
So not that big, but
Not
so
that
at 50
big, but-
engineers, you're market leader
Uh,
by a margin.
That was the biggest that I had seen in my
Yeah.
career.
Sure. Yes. But nothing compared to like,
Yeah,
like anything
compared
of
to
a
very big.
industry leader in a market.
We were still a startup, just
Yeah. So it's pretty lean.
revenue,
So
I
it's
would
still,
say.
uh-huh.
We were a big startup, but just with a fatter revenue. I would.
Yeah. So very lean, but
Yeah.
like, and can you like talk about excellence? So is that like, where did you pick up that, or was that very integral to you always, that the solving problems and the excellence part where, if you do work, if you put your name to anything, you want it to be finessed. You don't want a half-assed thing just because is that something?
No, actually, it's not like that. I do not, like to, treat things uh, differently if it is linked to my prestige or name. I'm not thinking like that, because if you think like that, you try to preserve it and not take feedback. And if it is for the good, that sometimes it is, sometimes you get a situation when it is for the good, that you let go of that particular project that you are doing because it financially did not make sense. Or let's say there is a better product out there, better solution out there, who other team, someone from other team has built a better product. So there will be situations like that, and you feel really disheartened when that happens. So that's why I do not take, I would say, pride in what I do. But at the same time, I know that this is the problem that I want to solve, and that's the only motive to solve the problem. That this is the
This is the
task that,
problem itself.
yeah, it's the problem itself,
Right.
and what is the best way that can be done to solve that problem. And along the way, if there is some learning, there is some new learning that we get, or I get, or my team gets,
Yeah.
that would be wonderful, and we will be happy to share it with the world. And
Yes.
and we would we really happy, not proud, but really
Yeah.
happy that we did something new and make impact.
Like, I don't know why, but I feel like maybe I'm a romantic sucker for it, but I find that this philosophy of giving that problem the attention and it deserves, so that you just focus on solving that problem irrespective
Yes.
of the outcome.
Yes.
It's like deeply philosophical.
Yeah.
And I'm still feeling nervous talking to you, that I know I am trying to figure out, like, how philosophical are you? Are you thinking about these things intentionally?
All
Is
the
this
time.
all the time? So
Yes.
but you don't, like, are you getting in these intellectual discussions, or are you reading a lot? Like, what is influencing this personality trait of you, or is it very natural to you?
I think it's a balance that I want to keep. I have read a lot around these things, but I do not want to read more,
Mm-hmm.
because I want to also retain my originality of how I feel about these things.
Yeah.
So, like, I do not want to be illusioned. For example, let's say if you told me you had an experience and you told me about the experience, and I see something similar somewhere else, because you have told me, there's some imagination that I've built up in my mind, and
Yes.
I am uh, I'm hallucinating that I have also had that experiment,
Yes.
sorry, experience. I think that would be very wrong,
Right.
because that would be very half baked, that I saw something similar, and I'm telling everyone that I had this particular experience, that but actually I did not have that experience. I do not want that. I want to I want the experience to be raw and as true as possible, that uh, and be honest
Right.
at that time, that like I can take grasp of that
Yeah.
experience.
But that, I think that points to two things. One is self-awareness,
Yeah.
right? That I am getting influenced because
Yes.
I have a 7-month-old baby, and she looks at us when we watch a movie. She laughs when we laugh. Is that natural?
Yeah.
That for her to pick up on cues,
Yeah.
to get influenced,
Yes.
right? So it's that natural. So it does take a lot of self-awareness to know, in this moment, I feel मेरे को ये मूवी देखनी है, मुझे इस बंदे ने बोला बहुत सही मूवी है, and now I've started only 10 minutes of the movie. I have to tell myself, okay, do you like it, or you
Yeah,
तुम्हें ये
you're
पसंद
just
है कि
getting
किसी और ने
through
बोला
it.
है?
So I stay away from
And secondly,
influence.
that the second is part of self, what would you say? I think it would be self awareness, in the sense that you feel okay in your skin to say कि तुम्हें नहीं पसंद है. That's the hard part,
Yes.
right? Which is also like, in a sense, you have proven to yourself that you don't need to just be nice to people. In the sense that if I didn't like it, I'm not going to be mean to you. But so
Yes.
you had that growing up, developed that over time. What has been your equation with these two emotions? Is self-awareness, and the second being comfortable in your own skin to say that, yes, I have my own opinion.
Yeah, I think this has happened over time, because I have been observant of my activities and my thinking from very small age, I would say.
Yeah.
That has been true. But and I think that what that trait has helped is that uh, when you take someone else's experiences and do not really question it and keep it in your concise, and there is a later situation when that things pops up, you thought that you had an understanding of that situation, but that was given by somebody
Yes.
else, and when you face it yourself, you thought that you are ready, but you are not ready.
Yes,
And
because it's
that's where you
theoretical.
fail. And that's where I thought that I should be very aware of what I am taking in, and because it will come back to me, and it will,
Backfire.
yeah, it will backfire and it will disturb me.
And
So I would
it's a
not.
double punishment because
Yeah.
you enter those situations thinking I can handle this. I
Yes.
understand this. But then so this is beautiful because I learned this in Vipassana that so the teacher, S.N. Goenka, who's long passed, he would say that whatever I'm telling you is my own experience.
Yes.
Whatever Buddha told you, that's his
His
experience.
experience, yes.
Unless you experience it yourself, it will be just hearsay.
Yes.
It'll be just, oh yeah, that mango is sweet, but I've never had mangoes, but that mango is sweet.
Yeah.
But I don't know what sweet is.
Yes.
So that is really powerful. Yeah, I mean, that gives me a lot to think about. So I think one other question that I had in mind looking at you is I've seen you through the highs of building a unicorn and recently with the decline of the unicorn. And I find that almost scary that how consistent you have been. I find it scary because I am a volatile person. Like when I have highs, in the sense that to my dearest of people, not to external world, but to my dearest of people, couple, and I would be like hyping each other up, just like bakchori, like all day. When it's going down, it's not that I'm depressed or angry, but I would still be like mentioning, and there would be element around me that my dearest people would know this. I find you like, is it true that because you're always introspective, that it doesn't come out, that you resolve those things internally that so well that they don't need to come out? Or is it because you actually, which is to me the scary part, is like you can handle almost anything because of the way your values and your mental frameworks work?
Yeah, I think it is not like that uh, I do not feel highs and lows as instantly as anyone does. I do, but because I am introspective, and there is something else that I would want to achieve.
Yeah.
uh, those things are a opportunity for me to improve upon the feelings, the handling of feelings of highs and lows.
Yeah.
So there are those feelings, but they stay for a lesser time because I am not swaying away with those feelings. Instead, I am looking at them with the opportunity to improve myself in terms of handling these situations.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at these things.
So I think I was trying to roughly estimate your stake in Gamescraft, and you don't have to tell me. I know that's not public information, but I'm wondering like if it's like a few hundred CR, so like 500 CR, like close to like $100 million. That to me is wildly insane. Like I know the highs I would get when I just think about it, and like how my lifestyle would change. I could imagine that. And if it goes down, I'd be like, okay, like there's no more point. But I think the reason I sense from your conversation you got there is the same thing. So the reason why you got there is because you love solving problems and you're always looking for the next problem. That's how you got there. Things went out of control, then it got down, but that doesn't matter because now you're always looking forward to next thing.
Yes.
आपके घर पे कभी छापे पड़े हैं?
नहीं, मेरे घर पे नहीं।
Income tax and like because I could imagine they're like, yeah, आप करते क्या हो? Like like people would be like trying to figure out you're pretty young lad and you're having a. So, like, staying within your means, that was always you. I think
Yeah.
you again didn't believe in a flashy life, and um, you probably don't even check your bank accounts and stuff because those things don't really matter. I think it doesn't matter what food you eat. Like, it's really about solving the problem. Is that your hard to day? And I think you said meeting people and having a good time.
I think bank balance does matter a little, because from being from a middle class background, uh, you there is some part of subconscious that is wired into have that security with you, and to keep checking up on that security and keep imagining scenarios where it
Goes
can
wrong.
go wrong. I think that part is there, and I have accepted that part, but apart from that, it is not much more than that.
Do you think it often overwhelms people?
Yes, too much. I think I have known many people who they create scenarios where their X would be triple X,
Yes.
then this happen, this would happen, this would happen, this would happen.
Yes.
I think that creates a problem, because you're always living in the
Yeah.
future and not seeing what you have already, because
Yeah.
most of us in our circle are top 1% of India.
Yeah.
So that is a big thing.
Do you have mentors? Do you believe in mentors?
No, as I said, that I want to have my own experiences. That's why.
So you learn, but
Yeah,
it's
I
not
would I would see videos, and like Neville I have follow, and
yeah.
Jiddu Krishnamurti I follow a lot.
Yes. That's also Nawal's mentor, right? Like the one
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Krishnamurti, yeah.
So that guy I follow, and there are few other people whose wisdom Swami Vivekananda has
Yes.
too much wisdom in his books. So these are the people, and like you have YouTube now. You don't need a mentor, because any kind of
Yeah.
information that you need, you can go and listen to stuff, and you can.
And being grounded and humbled, like, just helps you not achieve, like, do a lot more because you're not worrying about a lot about what people think about you. Oh, you were driving a Audi, now you're driving like a cheaper Hyundai.
Yeah.
All those things shouldn't matter because if you really want to solve problems, if that is what is keeping you off, it's going to take up so much of your mind space that you won't be able to do it.
Yes.
Do you find in your circles you're still the outlier?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. Because you could see, like, if I mean, I think I mentioned I was talking to a couple the other day, our mutual friend, and I was like, and I costed him $10 million roughly. It was like almost costed him. Like, it was partially my fault. And he said, bro, like, it would not have changed anything in my life, but you would have been financially independent. Your kids would have gone to best school because he doesn't spend money and he would have just, spent it on his friends. So that was hilarious. So tell me about the setbacks, just like briefly, like when when this happened, do you feel that there's a lot more regulation in India than it's supposed to be? Is it check and balance? Because I think it personally didn't affect you. I think I'm still, like, struggling with the fact that was there any learning in the fact that things that were in your control, I think you feel very proud that you did them, like they were supposed to be done and you did them. But things that were externally that were not in your control, like what you could have done, right? Like, is that the feeling overall with the whole, the new regulations and the ban on gaming?
I think regulation wise, we'll have to see whether this regulation helps us, because there are from betting perspective or playing games for stake that are addictive in nature. There are lots of offshore platforms that are already there, and I think those are the main culprit of people losing a lot of money, because those are pure betting, gambling kind nature of games, and there is no oversight or no nothing, or no check of fraud, and you cannot, if you, let's say, you were a part of you know you were being frauded by some of these platforms. There is no way for you to get your money back or something like that, versus these regulated platforms where uh, where you can call it game of skill or
Yeah.
chance. That's a question to debate. Like Supreme Court has called Rummy game of skill only, but from let's say losing money point of view, uh, if there is very less chance of you being defrauded on these platforms. Even if you do,
Yeah.
like the people, the police knows who to
Yeah.
go
We
to.
do fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So from that perspective, I think this will backfire, I would say, regulation wise. Uh, at the same time, if this is hampering, the youth, if these things are, taking the youth's mind space, I think then I would say, uh, from India's perspective, where it is still developing and
Yeah.
needs its youth to contribute to
Yeah.
it being a developed country, then I think it was
Yeah.
fine. Uh, this kind of thing would have worked in a developed nation better,
Mm.
like it is in Britain or US, those
Yeah.
places. But for a developing country, I think it is
It
fine
makes
for now.
sense.
Yeah.
And I don't think this, seeing you and knowing you personally, I don't think it has made any difference to you in the sense that
Yes.
I think you already stepped out of the role a couple of years ago. So in that sense, you were just a spectator, and it would have been nice, but
Yeah.
it's not a game changer. Which is, I personally take a lot of inspiration from, um, genuinely, I take a lot of
Mm.
inspiration from that, the way you've handled things, and I want to know what's next. Like, I see your man cave, you're like locked in, you're trying to solve other things. Is that what is this is perpetually used as long as Akhilesh is alive, he'll be solving problems. That's what your mind will be at, and this is the current phase you're in. Talk to me about what's next. Is the hunger still there? As you said, you used to be young. I find you you're pretty young still, but is that still the same hunger?
Yeah, I think hunger wise, it is there. There was when I left Gamescraft, there was some kind of, you know, what do you call it? I'm not remembering. Uh, the overwork that, overwork hangover that I had, a fear of, starting something chaotic, such chaotic things. Because before, in my last stint at Gamescraft was a startup on Ludo, uh, within Gamescraft, and we were, working in a small team of 5 to 6 developers, things like that, and very small
Ludo, the game, right?
yeah,
Yes.
Ludo game, the online version of that. Uh, so uh, one product person, one business person, very small team, uh, and the deadlines that we were working on were very, very strict, and things had changed a lot since Gamescraft was a very small company to this big. So you have to be a startup in a, when you have to be a startup in a 700 people strong company, it becomes very, very difficult
Yes.
to be that startup. It becomes too much process driven, and that's where your work doubles when the deadline is same as a startup.
Mhm.
So I think I there was a feeling of burnout after that, and feeling of chaos, too much chaos, and I wanted some peace from that chaos.
Yeah.
uh, that feeling was there, but from the point of view of learning, uh, there was no doubt about going away from that
Mm.
and learning something new. That's why I, like, after leaving Gamescraft, I had some interest. While in Gamescraft also, I had some interest in in investing, analyzing businesses and looking at businesses, especially tech businesses, what they are doing, like what are the kind of products that they have, things like that, and how the deep tech companies, where whose product I could understand because I cannot understand an aerospace company, but I could understand what, let's say, MongoDB is doing or a Snowflake is doing. I would be interested in those kind of technologies and who are the competitors, how it can go, uh, it can be overwhelmed by a different product, new open source project maybe.
Yes.
So those were the things that were interesting to me, and so I tried to go deeper into that. So I started reading annual reports and uh, you know listen to YouTube commentaries from Warren Buffett. Everybody does, Monish Pabrai and people like those. uh, so while doing that, I I came across few hurdles that you have to do a lot of reading. You have to, get a lot of data from a lot of places, and there are a lot of current solutions that are very half baked right now. So from that, I got to uh, working on these problems where like uh, I know that you have to do a lot of reading. There is no skipping that part because you have to see your competitors, what is happening. You have to understand human psychology, economics, what is happening in macro. So these things will be there, and you have to deal with it if you are doing this full time or part time, or if you are interested in it. But there are few things that the access to data and the access to it in a meaningful way,
Yeah.
where people can make sense of it in a single place. That was a problem that I could see that nobody is solving. So that's where I am right now involved, that I want to solve this problem, that there is so much information, so much noise, and how to segregate the information from the noise and make people uh, and help people make good intuitions, and not intuitions driven by a YouTube video or a commentary by a founder. Not like that. Data driven intuitions, I want to give people the platform where they can have that data driven intuition, and I also want them to know that it is difficult, it is not easy, and whatever
It's very open ended and
yeah, whatever you will get, it would not be easy, even if it is provided at a single place. But you should know that how difficult it is, and then only you should make your decision. Else it would be kind of losing your money, as most of the people do in stock market.
right.
That's the problem that
And it's like, I think Warren Buffett says that i- if so, the amount of information he has on Berkshire, he gives that out in the annual letter, and he's saying that what Charlie would value Berkshire and what is I value is very different.
Yes.
And we know everything about the
Yes.
company. So that is really weird. And also then the whole market economics takes into place because they do the bidding and auctioning. Are you working on this alone? Is that very different to Gamescraft?
no, I have few friends, college friends, that who are contributing to
So
this.
still you're still treating it as game.
Yeah, but we are trying to be as uh you know like, we are not spending any money on it. We are trying to do it within ourselves, so that
Yeah.
whenever we find some insight of the product, then only we go and build the
Yeah.
whole product. We are currently figuring out, because this field is so huge that figuring it out has taken us a lot of time, and
So hard
it is going
that it
to
changes.
yeah. So, and there is so much, the style of investing also, the people who do these kind of thing, and the kind of solution that is there. There are PMS, AIFs,
Yeah.
and there are derivatives happening. Then there are money markets, and then there is debt market, um, currency swaps, things like that. So the field is so wide that to make sense of it, you have to be a little comfortable with it, and that comes with time. So
Yes.
that is the stage that we are in right now.
Yes.
We are figuring out what is happening, how does it work, then only we'll be able to make a good product for the people and try it out.
Yes.
And so we are, currently not trying to spend any money and work within ourselves to,
Yeah.
solve a criminally part of the problem.
Yeah, the core part of it,
Yes,
solve it
core part.
first. So I think Warren Buffett says that the difference between rich people and really rich people is they have the ability to say no to a lot of things. Because as you said, there's a lot of noise, and you said finance, then you combine with Gen AI, the
Yes.
solution, the one trick pony that everybody's trying to use to solve it. It is significantly complicated. But I think out of all people, I would bet on in my group, I think it would be you, that you would actually solve it. And, I'm looking forward to what comes next. I'm wondering, like, where can people connect with you if they have anything to share, if they have any ideas, or you don't want them to connect you?
No, I am open to talk, of course. I am on LinkedIn. They can reach me out on LinkedIn.
And that's where they can find what's the latest and the.
No, I
latest
do
you're
not
working on.
really post any stuff. If
Yeah.
like you can reach me out through messages. I do not. I'm not very social,
Yes.
as you would know. So I was hesitant in doing this podcast as
Yes.
well. So this is my first time doing anything, anything like that. But yeah, if somebody reaches out to me, I would be
Yeah.
happy to help.
No, this is great. I think you have a very fascinating story. I still feel you underplayed a lot, but it's just beautiful. I think it's just how you are as a person, and I'm so glad that you came here and we had this conversation. I definitely learned a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Akhilesh. Bhaiya.
That was
Thank you so much for tuning into this conversation. I hope this left you with a few good questions, perhaps a few laughs, and definitely a reminder to keep following your curiosity wherever it takes you. If you enjoyed this episode, consider sharing it with a friend, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay true to what matters the most, your inner scorecard. Thank you.